Okay. Guys, can you hear me now? Do me a favor. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put 2 in the chat if you cannot hear me. My apologies for the struggle streaming. Okay. So you guys can hear me now. So again, my apologies for that. It seemed I had some technical difficulties. So I'm going to, in essence, start this over. It's 11 minutes after we got started. Basically, I'm covering tonight the update on the homicide of Adam Lafferty. Adam Lafferty was killed in 5 Points Correctional Facility back in December 23rd of 2024. Adam Lafferty had complained, had filed a civil suit, had open OSI investigations in reference to his treatment, in reference to beatings that occurred. So his death was very, very suspicious. And just recently, his bunkie, his cellmate, was indicted for his murder. Okay. So I'm actually going to go back to the article. My apologies for people not hearing me. I'm going to go back to the article and start over and go ahead and read this. And I'll try to speed this up. Again, my apologies. Adam Lafferty's cellmate at 5 Points Correctional Facility was arraigned on 2 counts of first-degree murder Wednesday in connection with Lafferty's death from strangulation in December. Kevin Farley, 42, of Canastota, who is serving 24 years to life in prison for his 2016 guilty plea to second-degree murder for killing his neighbor. So this is a gentleman, Kevin Farley, who was serving 24 years to life for second-degree murder for killing his neighbor. He also faces a charge of third-degree criminal possession of a weapon. He shared a cell at 5 Points Correctional with Lafferty, who was in prison for 2 to 7 years on a burglary charge. So mind you, just take a look at this. The fact that he was placed, his bunkie, was someone who was serving 24 years to life, and Adam himself was only serving 2 to 7. It shows that there's a discrepancy there, because typically you are not housed with someone who's pretty much a lifer at this moment. This is very suspicious and doesn't make sense in my opinion. The indictment was unsealed in Seneca County Court before Judge Barry Porsche. Seneca County Assistant Public Defender David Machikikwi entered not guilty pleas on Fridays on Farley's behalf. He is currently serving his sentence at the maximum security upstate correctional facility in Malone. In leg shackles and handcuffs, he was accompanied by 2 corrections officers who had brought him from the northern New York prison. And that's where we see this photo here of Kevin Farley. Let's continue on with the article. Farley answered Porsche's basic questions in a clear voice and asked the judge to appoint a public defender. Seneca County District Attorney John Nabinger said, even though Farley is incarcerated and won't be eligible for release until 2039, he would ask that bail not be set in case any crazy thing can happen. Quote, he is incarcerated on a murder charge, and while incarcerated, murdered another individual in a very brutal fashion. Nabinger told Porsche, I will be asking for life without parole. The case was adjourned until November 5th for argument of motions. Before I continue on with the article, I would like to show you guys a video from actually a TikTok from Adam Lafferty's brother, who gave an update on TikTok on the case. So I'm going to pull this up and share this with you here.
What's going on, guys? A little update on Adam Lafferty. So last week was a difficult time. I had to go to sealed indictment. I'm gonna just put it like this. You've probably seen it. It was all over like newspapers and stuff, front page. But anyhow, it's a start. You know, it is something. And what I got to say to that is there's multiple factors here, and somewhere in the middle, there's the truth. At the end of the day, someone's life was lost that didn't need to be and shouldn't have been. And I'm sure a lot of you already know my thoughts on that, but I'm going to leave it like this. It's a start. It's a slow moving process. The wheel of justice moves slow. Thanks.
Okay, that was Justin, Adam Lafferty's brother. I have been in contact with him. I'm not going to disclose anything, obviously, but I did get permission to post that TikTok of the update that Justin provided. So let's go back to the article. 5 Points guards at the time told their union, the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, that Farley made incriminating remarks and was removed from the cell immediately after Lafferty was discovered December 23rd, unconscious on his bed as officers unsuccessfully tried to revive him. Farley eventually was transferred out of 5 Points to the prison in Malone. Lafferty, 40, of Clyde, was found in his cell with deep ligature marks on his neck and severe bruises on his head. The state police investigators involved in the case told Lafferty's brother, Justin Baird of Rose, that's the video that you just saw, that the case was 100% a homicide. His family's attorney, Catherine Rosenfeld, who regularly represents victims of prison violence, said that a preliminary autopsy she received in the winter of 2025 confirmed that Lafferty was murdered. And for those of you who don't know, Katie Rosenfeld is an advocate for those incarcerated. She's representing also the family of Messiah Nantry. So I'd like to play a little clip of Katie Rosenfeld to give you an idea of who is representing Adam Lafferty's family in this case. So let me go ahead and pull this up.
Kicked and punched repeatedly. He sustained serious injuries. He had to.
Oh, and by the way, before I go into this clip, there are some graphic imagery, some photos, also some graphic words that you will hear at during the remainder of this live stream. So I want to be transparent. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, Katie Rosenfeld is going to be talking about Adam Bauer. I covered his case, his civil case. He was beaten at Marcy Correctional Facility before Robert Brooks was murdered. So I'm going to play this for you guys now to give you a sense of who Katie Rosenfeld is.
Have approximately 20 stitches to the top of his head. He was taken to the outside hospital.
The head injury, he says, caused by a metal clasp on a clipboard that was slammed over his head.
Some officers at Marcy seem to have the impression that they can engage in brutality against incarcerated people without consequence. Mr. Bauer, my client, thought that he was going to die the day that he was assaulted by officers back in 2020. He feared for his life.
When he got out of prison, Adam Bauer filed a lawsuit against the officers and the facility. That suit is about to go to trial. One of the COs named in it is Nicholas Anzalone, also seen in the Brooks beating video.
So the question for me is more, why did docs accept this for so long? And why did it undervalue and dismiss the value of so many people's lives up until now? And what changes are needed to really address that in a true way, not in a flashy press moment. Now that this has become public, there's suddenly a big outcry and an interest in fixing the problem. And I believe it's genuine and I'm glad that it's happened. But to really fix the problem, we need to look deeper into who are the people running these prisons, who are the people working there, what is the culture that allowed this to occur. it's not just a question of rolling out some new policies on a day. It's a question of, will they be implemented? Will they be followed? Is there going to be cultural change that forces the end of these kinds of horrific acts?
Okay, that was Katie Rosenfeld, the attorney for Adam Lafferty's family. In addition, she's also representing the family of Messiah Nantry. I will be producing a video tomorrow that goes into more of her background and what she's doing. But this is the advocate / attorney for Adam Lafferty's family. And it's important that we are aware of these civil cases and we follow them. And we see this to its completion. I'm going to jump back to the article. Let's go. Nicole Whitaker, a spokesperson for the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, said the indictment does not close its investigation into what happened to Lafferty. Quote, the investigation into Mr. Lafferty's death remains open and ongoing, she said. The New York State Police, the Office of Attorney General, and the Seneca County DA's office are also involved in the investigation. While he would not elaborate, Navinger acknowledged before court Wednesday that his office's investigation continues. Now, the question is, will we see some accountability on behalf of docs? One thing that Katie Rosenfeld spoke about is the culture of the New York State Department of Corrections. It's a culture of sadism. It's a culture of corruption. And there are many things in place systematically that allow this to happen. For those of you who aren't aware, I've done videos about workers' compensation fraud and docs, having it be the highest in New York State. The NYSCOBA collective bargaining agreement, third-party arbitration paid for by the union, and the inability of New York State docs to be able to terminate its own officers that engage in brutality. It's an upside-down world, upside down. So let's continue on with the article here. Baird and his mother, Patty Baird, who were in court on Wednesday with other family members, believe there's much more that happened to Lafferty. In documents that Lafferty gave to them that he also sent to a federal judge in Buffalo, the inmate predicted he would be murdered, even noting the date correctly that it would occur. I don't know how much more that I can say except that we still have so many questions and not enough answers, Justin Baird said after Wednesday's proceeding. He and his family thanked Navinger for his efforts on the matter. Lafferty, a frequent complainer about prison conditions and someone who brought several allegations of abuse, previously had filed a motion with U.S. District Judge John Sinatra, October 11th, 2024, stating that his civil rights were being violated. In the documents the family has, there is a second letter Lafferty wrote to Sinatra on October 30th, 2024, requesting appointment of counsel and saying that his life would be in danger if he were not moved out of his current cell. I'm going to play a TikTok video. I'm going to play a TikTok video for you from a TikToker by the name of Critical Thinking _5000. Manny has been covering the Adam Lafferty case for a long time. He's done a lot of videos. He's a great content producer, great journalist. Be sure to click on the link in this description to check out his TikTok channel and his journalism. So I'm going to play a video from him in which he goes over the relationship between Adam Lafferty and Judge John Sinatra. Here we go.
He wrote this man here. This is John L.
Okay.
Sinatra Jr. in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of New York. He wrote this judge multiple times, asking for reprieve, asking to be placed in protective custody. And this judge turned a blind eye. I've seen the letters with his judge stamp on them. He received them. He read them. This has all come out in discovery. The special prosecutor has read these letters as well. He told the judge everything that was going on, that the correctional officers were beating him on a regular basis, that the correctional officers were spitting in his food, that the correctional officers were throwing away all his commissary and all his legal paperwork. Under the constitutional law, you're entitled to this as an inmate. All these things were being violated. The correctional officers, Adam Lafferty wrote to this judge, even had other inmates rape him. This judge turned a blind eye to it. There are candlelight vigils that are still being held for Adam Lafferty. It's still in the newspapers in New York. It's still on the news stations in New York. I saw the photos of Adam Lafferty, the autopsy photos. It is my belief that he was beaten viciously by multiple individuals. And that's not justice. That's brutality.
Okay. That was critical thinking underscore 5000 off of TikTok. Please support his channel. He covers a wide variety of issues, and he's been religiously covering the Adam Lafferty case. So please support him when you can. So let's continue on with the article. In the October 30th letter, excuse me, he said a corrections officer told him that his cellmate, who already had threatened to kill him, would be told December 22nd after dinner that Lafferty was a snitch and to eliminate him. So again, this piece we have to read over again because this is just absolutely crazy. In the October 30th letter, he said a corrections officer told him, and this is a letter he wrote to a federal judge, told him that his cellmate, who already had threatened to kill him, would be told December 22nd after dinner that Lafferty was a snitch and to eliminate him. His cellmate, Lafferty asserted, was serving a sentence for murder and was part of a prison gang. It would be in retaliation for filing grievances and my civil rights lawsuit against correctional officers and prison officials, he wrote in the October 30th letter. Sinatra did respond to the first letter. He said that Lafferty needed to file an amended civil rights complaint that named the correctional officers and prison officials and include specific dates and describe the incidents in which he was asserting his rights were violated. Lafferty's family believes he was in the process of doing that when he was killed. After the second letter, Sinatra, according to court papers that were placed online by Desiree Yegan, did appoint a pro bono counsel to Adam Lafferty on December 25th, 2024. Yegan created a YouTube channel to report on, among other things, federal lawsuits. It is not known if Lafferty was made aware of the appointment or had contacted whoever was appointed. His relatives also echoed a concern that Lafferty had expressed repeatedly. How does someone serving a maximum of 7 years on a third-degree burglary conviction categorized as nonviolent felony end up in maximum security prison with a cellmate convicted of murder? That's the question here. How does he end up in the same cell with someone convicted of murder, serving 24 to life? It boggles the mind. So that is the end of that article. I'm going to be continuing to cover the case, any updates. We'll see if there's any accountability from docs, if any correctional officers who were involved in the beatings of Adam Lafferty, whether they get arrested, prosecuted. So again, if anybody wants to chime in, I'm going to put in the link in the comment here. If somebody wants to come in and give me their input, I'll maybe give like 2 minutes if somebody wants to come on. If you do want to come on, I will ask that you share your camera, you show your face, no loud music in the back. If you do decide to come on, you basically click on the link I just put in the chat. You click on share camera, share microphone, and we can have a conversation, and you can let me know what you think about this situation. So, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for being on the stream. I want to thank everyone for being here and following the channel. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, like the stream, share it, comment below, let me know where you're watching from, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I don't see anyone in the studio, so I'm going to start to shut this down. So again, thanks everyone for being here. I'm going to continue to follow the Adam Lafferty case in terms of hopefully there will be other arrests, other people held accountable for his death. Again, he predicted his death to the day in terms of his cellmate threatening to kill him, and nothing happening about this. So this is definitely a tragedy that could have been prevented. So again, I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm going to shut it down. As I say in all of my videos, my goal is to go deeper than what the mainstream media is telling and sharing with you. Take care. God bless. And I will see you next time.